Matchday -1 in the nation's capital, literally right over our shoulder last night. Across the river and into Gatineau, the CPL Awards, and now all eyes on tomorrow's championship final, where today, gentlemen, is literally the calm before the storm. Because after football, all anyone wants to talk about, finally, if you ask me, is the weather. And that is because starting at 9 a.m. at the last forecast, it will snow until 2 a.m., ranging from 5 to 10 to 15 centimeters of snow for the big match cavalry Atletico Ottawa. We've of course been talking to everyone we can to get thoughts on orange balls and six studs in the league, bringing in snow removal equipment specifically for this scenario. And while it's going to be a football match, it's also going to be a spectacle. I'm thinking maybe Azteca level because of everything that's going to be happening quite literally above and on the pitch, Gareth.
I can't wait to see what it looks like and how it feels. This is November in Canada, baby.
Yes,
this is what it's all about. We've lived here our whole lives. We're used to this experience. I feel like I was swimming in my pool 3 weeks ago, and now we're going to be bundling up. So I think that it could really make for an iconic Canadian sporting moment for a lot of different reasons. It's funny, we just got off the Toronto Blue Jays' magical run to the World Series. Well, their first game ever at Exhibition Stadium back in 1977, there was snow. We've seen Grey Cups played in the snow. It's part of the Canadian sporting vibe that this time of year we need to embrace the conditions. And over the course of my playing career, playing university soccer, this is the time when national championships are being played across this country as well. And they've been dealing with different issues across this country this week as well. But I remember playing in conditions where there wasn't just snow, but the field would be essentially frozen. Pitches have come a long way over the last 20 years, where essentially myself and my teammates would, you go to try to stop from a sprint and you'd end up sliding through. So I feel like things have become a lot more posh with the great indoor facilities across this country, but these players should be used to playing, or most of these players should be used to be playing in the elements to a certain degree. Where things change, Jordan, is if it completely dumps, like the snow just falls down en masse during the game. Yeah. And then it's going to be a matter of which team adjusts more quickly. And it's going to be a game of adjustments. That's what's going to be really interesting. Who's going to embrace it? Who's going to figure out the conditions first?
And it's so funny you bring up the word adjustment, because we listened Matchday -2 to Diego Mejia, who's done a great job with Atletico Ottawa this year. But he basically said, look, we're not switching up the way we play. We're going to go into a final. We're going to keep the ball on the deck. We're going to have it move. He's from Mexico. This is different. This is playoff football in Canada. Snow is coming. The storm is coming. You're going to have to see Atletico Ottawa side adapt and maybe be different. So I'm very curious to think. And you know who's very excited about the snow? Calgary FC. Yes, coming, being an away team, coming to TD Place, where Atletico Ottawa beat them 3 times this season, but this is the game that matters for the North Star Cup. So it's going to be a very electric environment and see who adapts. But again, with that snow falling, it changes everything about tomorrow.
Adam, Calgary, a place where you call home now. I mean, they played on frozen pitches before. I mean,
literally this season.
Yes.
Yeah. In Champions Cup, how they started the year and how they're going to end it.
Bingo. I mean, the grass pitch is a little bit different than the turf. What I'm being told by the people here in Ottawa is one thing, if the snow happens beforehand, the drainage is very good. Yeah. They have a hard time keeping water on the field. Oftentimes you see before an Atletico Ottawa game, they're watering the
Drew Becky's fire hose, yes.
to access. So the drainage is very good. So that sort of freezing shouldn't be a big issue. Once again, it's just if it snows a lot during the 90 minutes, I think that may come with some complications.
Well, Nate Ingham and Loic Kluche were both representatives from Atletico Ottawa at Media Day, and Nate was mentioning how that 2-week window before it's too cold to freeze the backyard rink, you can play football on it. Loic Kluche talking about growing up in Quebec City, sometimes you play in the snow. They're used to it, of course, but I want to pick up on that point about adjustments, because Diego Mejia goes, we don't need to change anything. I think if I'm cavalry, I'm listening to that going, oh, if you want to continue to try to possess the ball and move it around the same way, bring it on, because I think it's not necessarily a like-for-like way of playing football when the ground is frozen. I even think back to Forge. They didn't have the snow in Champions Cup this year, but you'd see the guys going to the corner flag and like doing the Bambi stop. Like, things change drastically, Jordan. So when you're on the pitch, knowing that this is a final too, by the way, and the margin for error is so low, what sort of things change from a decision-making point of view?
It has to change for Atletico Ottawa. I'll talk about that back three. Now those passes that they make, and sometimes they're 10 yards from each other, it might have to be shorter. You have to bring things in and make that a 7-yard, 5-yard pass. but you can't risk things in the finals. You have to play things safe. So the ball has to go forward a bit. Look, tomorrow, win or lose for Atletico Ottawa, it's going to be on Sam Salter, it's going to be on Balou Tabla, it's going to be on David Rodriguez getting on the ball. But they cannot make mistakes in the back. But for Calgary as well, it's about their big dogs going forward. So that snow is going to change the complexion of the game, but I just think the way that these teams want to attack and go forward, they have to make sure that they're not making any big mistakes in the back. So they got to play forward and make sure that the game is won there and they don't lose it in the back line.
I just think that the worse that things get for the conditions, the better it is for Cavalry. Because we've seen this Cavalry team who, for me, are a lot bigger. They're a lot stronger.
Sure.
There's a lot more experience in that team. And in conditions like this, one thing that you can't do is make mistakes. And I think you need to be able to play a little bit more safe. You're going to see a lot of direct football. Instead of trying to, keep the ball around the back, you play it safe by hitting long balls forward. And when I look at a player like Tobias Warshevsky, when I look at the pace that Gauthier Intigne and Kinesia Alva bring to the table, that is problematic for a very young Atletico Ottawa back line who has done very well. The structure of Cavalry, even the players at the back, like Fraser Aird playing football in Scotland for as long as he did, is used to adverse conditions and not great field conditions for a lot of places that they go. Klompy, I just look at the players in this team, I'm like, yeah, this team will be comfortable playing a little bit more direct, playing some long balls, winning those individual battles. So I think that Atletico Ottawa, because they more rely upon skill and their natural talent and ability, they're more shifty in terms of their attacking players rather than the power and the speed and the strength of Cavalry.
It's a great point. We watched training today as well. There's only one player in short sleeves and shorts, and that was Fraser Aird. Ready to go, had a red nose but didn't look cold at all. Ready, you're gonna see him bombing down the right side, snow, hail, sleet, it doesn't matter. He's gonna take care of business tomorrow because he knows it's the final and he's not afraid of the elements.
Last but certainly not least, speaking of Ice Tekka earlier, we have the infamous Sam Atakubi into a snowbank celebration.
Yeah.
What's your move tomorrow, Jordan? You score.
Well, this is perfect.
Is it a snow angel?
No, but this is perfect for Sam Salter because look, he won 3
literally
awards. He's literally just scoops up that snow and just sprinkles it, and all the cameramen and all the camera people gotta do is catch that snow just kind of disintegrate. I think that's gonna be the perfect celebration. And if he can get off to the races and do what he needs to do, then Atletico Ottawa are in a good spot.
I think that the fans are going to have a big part to play in creating that atmosphere. We're still expecting a big crowd. We're hoping that people all across the Ottawa region come out and support. But you know what happens at these snow games? We've seen the CFL and the NFL throwing the snow up in the air and making an atmosphere. So the scenes are going to be electric. We're going to be freezing cold, being broadcasting out
we love it.
outside. Adam's going to be nice and
up
cozy
in the
with
booth,
his heaters.
you bet.
But it's one of those moments that perhaps we'll look back 10, 20, 30 years from now that you'll say, where was I when? And it's going to be one of those moments that you're going to want to be there, potentially see Atletico Ottawa win their first championship at home, and really what could play out as an iconic day in Canadian sports, really, and especially right here in the Canadian Premier League as well.
Well, it's really nice of the Peace Tower to play us off Oscar music style. We'll say goodbye. We have our supporters event tonight. Looking forward to meeting some of the Atletico and Cavalry supporters in attendance. And then, of course, it all gets underway tomorrow with our OneSoccer pregame show. 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Mountain. We'll be on TSN, OneSoccer, Fox Sports 2. And hey, shout out to the Baby Reds today. Shola Gimo nearly scoring a goal against the French, but a 0-0 draw and a point. They're pretty well through already. It's a celebration of football in the nation's capital.